Never lose again.
Regular
Dudes!
What? Stuff.
This team will never lose again.
What's your plan?
Me?
Oh my God.
Welcome to Regular Dudes Watch Off. I'm Magnum Mills, and I'm here with the Soupdeucer because there's something about Shoresy. We're talking about the first 3 episodes of season 3 of Shoresy, the hockey-centered spinoff of Letterkenny. This is your baby Soup. How you doing? And you were excited to talk about some Shoresy there, eh?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I am more than excited to talk about Shoresy, and I'm glad that it's getting brought up, and I'm glad that it's part of Regular Dudes Watch This now. I've kind of been hinting at it and pushing it on you guys a little
You've
bit
been
here and there.
pushing. Unlike Shoresy, you can't push right now. You've been pushing.
Yeah, I wasn't really slashing at it, but I'm kind of like throwing it in there, man. But I'm glad it's come to fruition here. And honestly, man, this show is so fucking good, man. There's really nothing wrong with it. It's entertaining. It grips you. It's funny. It's emotional. I mean, it puts you right in to the whole scene of what they're doing. I don't know, like I said, man, this is a
Dude, it's
feel
doing
good.
sports and comedy. Both those two things are hard to do on their own. To do them together, very difficult.
Yeah, very fun to watch, and I just keep wanting more, and I'm so stoked about this new season coming out, and because we know a guy or whatever, or we know
You
people.
might even be saying you crave it, right? You're craving in
And
this new season. You might even
haven't even been able to watch the first couple already, even though they're not on Hulu yet, but because we know people,
yeah, hey, pirate's life for me. Hardy har har. Maybe you need a VPN and check out our Netflix in another country or something. And dude,
and these
show
new
me
episodes.
someone. That's fine, but show me someone who doesn't hate losing, and I'll show you a loser. But don't worry, because we're never going to lose again on Regular Dudes Watch Stuff. You can find us wherever you podcast and on YouTube, on social media at Dudes Watch Stuff, same place on the web. Thank you for remembering it. It's very important, just like remembering that we're never going to lose again. While you're at it, please remember the flaps, follow, like, and please subscribe. Even if you want to say follow, like, and please Shoresy, same thing. If you had fun, please give us a thumb. Soup, tell everyone that we're going to spoil the shit out of all episodes of Shoresy and possibly even Letterkenny.
Yeah, well, if you can't win, don't play. So, no going into this, listen to us right now. We're going to talk about Shoresy. We're going to talk about even the new ones that you probably might not have even seen yet. We are going to talk about everything Shoresy from the beginning to the end, as far as all the characters and anything they might have done. Might even fucking involve Letterkenny, which it probably will, because, some of these guys have a lot of correlation and are involved in that too. And then, hey, man, we might even talk Trailer Park Boys, or we might talk anything Canada, we might talk anything hockey. Anyway, cards are on the table here, man. This is what you're dealing with. So the spoiler warning is out there. You have been notified.
Now I just feel terrible that I don't have a Molson or a Labatt tonight. So I am doing that not properly. We should be doing it upright. I mean, I do have some maple syrup. I could throw some bourbon in. I mean, that would
Well,
be
I've got red wine, so
that's universal. Yeah, I have cheap domestic beer. I think they do like that in Canada as well. Like the Soup said, we're talking about Shoresy. It's specifically the first 3 episodes of season 3. Halfway through the season, there's going to be 6, just like the first 2 seasons. Generally available on Crackle or Netflix, depending on your country. If you're not in the correct country, perhaps there is some service out there that lets you pretend you're in a different country. I don't know.
Hulu.
I'm just throwing out
Yeah, Hulu.
Hulu, yeah, just a hypothetical. It's out there in the universe. Pay the creators; they are worth it because this is just a ton of fun. Before we talk about anything specific, let's just kind of talk about where we're at overall a little bit. Soup, you got me into this, so I basically binged the first 2 seasons. Again, available on Hulu. Knock those out, and it's super awesome. 6 episodes a season; they're like 20 minutes a piece. People say, "Oh, I can watch a show in a weekend." You can watch this in a day, like in a day. It keeps you involved. The episodes are short enough that you really don't lose interest. It's a great binge. Yeah, I enjoy watching them one at a time as we are now. I believe actually they dropped the first 2 at once and then 3. It'll be single the rest of the way out or what have you. But still, go ahead, watch it. Really good time. Enjoyed the first 2 seasons. I really thought at the end of each season, if they had wanted to end it there, I would have been okay with it, but I wanted more. Same thing going into 3 so far. Very excited what they're doing in 3, and I honestly want more. I would expect they get to season 4 at this point, but they have not hit as of we are recording this. So cross your fingers. Soup, what do you think, man? What was kind of your mindset going into season 3, and have they delivered so far on your expectations? Overall thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I said, we're only ankle deep here and we've been fortunate enough to be able to
Well,
see the first,
a 3 of 6, dude. We're halfway. We're up to the hip.
like,
I'd say we're hip deep, hip deep.
there is a couple of things about the expectations going into this season that I was hoping to see but haven't yet, but maybe still can, is characters from Letterkenny that are supposed, that would be cool to come to Sudbury and be part of the Shoresy universe, because Shoresy was a character in Letterkenny, which was a 12 season long, very successful show. And he was a minor character, but he was definitely a character in that show. Also played by Jared Kiso, who was the main character in Letterkenny. But I'm not
Right,
going
so
to get.
that's why they didn't show Shoresy's face in Letterkenny. Fine,
Yeah, they
is
never
that how
showed.
that worked? So that to keep it alive, that they were two different people, basically.
Yeah, yeah, and they actually do meet in one of the final episodes there, or whatever, late in the season. But it's never is where like you never see the face or whatever.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
like that. They've done that in other shows where you don't see
There's
the
been a lot
dude's
of
face.
talk. There's been a lot of talk of like maybe Jonesy and Riley, who were hockey players from Letterkenny, maybe coming because of the hockey tournament there, or some of the other major characters in Letterkenny maybe finding their way to Sudbury because of things that are going on. And I think that would be a good correlation. I think it'd be a good addition, and maybe even a way to work in more major characters to the show, and accent some of the things that Shoresy is really good at doing, is portraying some of these characters who are, I don't know, not as hugely portrayed on film as some others, such as like in Native Americans or Native Canadians or whatever, and women in power and things like that they're noted for with that, and also like maybe with characters like Rolled or whatever, with the LGBTQ thing kind of coming around and being June and all that, so the show's known for like kind of, throwing these particular individuals out as major characters. And I think that might be something that Shoresy could do as far as bringing some of these other characters in from Letterkenny into the Shoresy universe as well, because it is kind of the same universe, but different city. So I don't know, whatever.
Hey, everyone loves these shared universes this day and age, and I think that could be cool, right? Like now you've seen them kind of scale up, right? Like first it was all right, just get back in, then it's don't lose a game, then it's win the league, then the perfect season. Now they're trying to win the national tournament. It feels like they can scale up in a way that they can bring something like that in naturally next season, kind of as part of the party, or how they did this.
Even with their subtle, like, everything else, man, even the way the season has gone, the way the first few seasons have gone, the outside the ice stuff, or even in the ice stuff, the little subtle things about every character, kind of, you don't have to like you don't have to write a whole story. It doesn't have to be a Stephen King novel about this person's background. You can get it in like, a paragraph,
Even
like.
you're right, even in a subtitle, you can get even in a subtitle. They do a really good job, I think, here. I would say this season more than the previous about kind of developing their opponents. Maybe it helps because you have the tournament format. So there's only a set number of teams you need to introduce, but kind of bringing some of the guys back and keep referring to them. So I think it adds a little bit then when you finally get the matchup, because the hockey action on the show is actually really fun. And that was one of my things I was a little bit apprehensive about going in was, do they really have the budget to make hockey look good? And what they did was cast a bunch of hockey players, I think, guys who can actually skate, so it looks good.
Exactly, dude, and that's a big part of it, and I love that aspect of the show. I also love the build up, to like even in the beginning, the first season, the build up to that first game. Like, the one episode ended and they were going into the game, and you're all ready and amped up to go into a game, and then the next episode started and it was like, oh, in a couple days, a little time lapse before that. And so it had to make you work back into it. But then when it finally got there, it was just intense. And like the first scene of the first game that those guys as that team played together was Dolo, eyeballs on the guy, puck drop. he takes his helmet off and he just beats the shit out of the fucking other dude and sets the tone, dude. It wasn't even a gym
Well,
setting
that
the
set
tone.
the tone, right? I mean, it
Set the
really
fucking
feels
tone.
true to kind of hockey, and hockey is something
It puts
that
you
has
right
been
in it, you know.
hard to portray on screen. I mean, it's Slapshot, but other than that, you get into hockey. It's just kind of
I love that it
poo-pooed a
does.
little bit. It's
Feel like
done
you're
so well here.
following it.
There's good heart, there's good comedy, but there's also a great sports show here.
Yeah.
That changes every year. They move the bars, but I like the way that they took the idea we'll never lose again. And that realistically, from a narrative standpoint, at least writing, that's not super interesting if they never lose. So,
Right.
but they play it earnestly, and there's a way you could do this and it wouldn't work. But Shoresy takes it so seriously, but he's just aloof enough to, just shout out. That's a tough line to walk, and I think he does it perfectly here. So, and then once you have Shoresy walking that line, the rest of the show can hang around that, the dude walking the tightrope with the balancing beam. You just get equal people hanging on every side, and all those people are awesome.
Yeah,
here.
man, and like how interesting the supporting cast is too. I mean, all the characters, even most of these guys aren't even actors; they're hockey players. So I think they did a great job at that. And then they have people like Laurence Leboeuf, who is a well-known Quebec actress. And I think that's cool that she
Yeah, and
comes
I
in.
love the ladies too, and I love that they're smart and good on their own, and they refer to the hockey guys as the sluts and everything like that. So it's kind of like the cool, but they also kind of ride together too. It's a little clicky, but
It
it
is,
works
yeah.
really. Like that's how real life is. So real life is clicky and everything. So there's just enough heightened reality blended with real life here that it works. It's a magical blend, right? You never know why something works and something else doesn't. How many shows, like how many people have tried to copy Quentin Tarantino? Just the way he shoots things, the way he writes. Like you can copy it, but it's not the same thing here. You just have to have that magical blend. And I think Shoresy just has that magical blend for better or worse. They have the 12 herbs and spices or whatever, right?
Yeah, verbs and spices and herbs and nices
Nices.
and but yeah, it is a magical blend, dude. And it's every element, man. It's all the characters and how good they do and how well written and portrayed these characters are, and just the meaning behind every aspect of the show. Even characters like Michaels and his side story in Sanger getting the squeezer from his girl at the fucking
You just like
at
saying Sanger, you gotta say we got a squeezer.
dude, what I mean? Like, hey,
No one
nobody
even
cares.
cares.
Even cares about the squeezer thing but things like that are just like, this is a perfect balance of super fucking hilarious, but also like really meaningful and heartfelt, and kind of like, you could almost squeeze a tear out at some points, I mean, and
I
a
mean,
lot of that,
Shoresy can obviously squeeze the tear up
well,
over
he
that.
cries at every national, at the anthem and
Yeah.
everything, but
And in
still,
between every period while he's shitting. Well, we don't know that for sure.
I'd be crying right now, but I already cried a little bit earlier, so
Even the one dude shit talks him, I
it
think.
just seems like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just that perfect balance of it's a good
It's got
recipe.
heart, but it's funny. It's just again just super well done. And like I said, we're going to try to go through these first 3 episodes probably in order, but it's entirely possible we jump around a little bit. Shout out to House of Pain. So, Soup, let's start out with the fact that opening the season, we find out that their perfect season wasn't necessarily perfect because they lost game 7, their home barn, to the goddamn Americans. What do you think, man? You like the idea? They kind of had to, right? We'll never lose
Yeah, I
again.
mean, you can't just win every fucking game. It's unrealistic, I mean, I get it. They've been there and we already went through this at the end of the first season, right? Where it was like, well, we're not gonna win, but we're gonna give them the fucking lumber, and they made the team survive because of doing that, and that right there, that was such a good way to fucking finish
Yeah,
that.
because that sets up the idea that then Shoresy's going to get jacked, and then he gets all the other guys to go with him and everything, and like
And then it
work
carried
that
through the
hard.
next
And
season, and
that's
then
good writing. It's the same thing here. They worked all season to host this tournament, and that gave them the out so they could lose but still be in the tournament because they were the
right,
host team. So
out,
that's good writing. So they planned that ahead of time. That is just well
obviously.
done and well executed. And that even adds to their fire here where Shoresy's pissed because they're the participation medal guys, right? They're only there because they're the host team. And they even get some shit in the first episode, which is also great. That
So they did pull a perfect season. Now this reminds me, and I hate to fucking say it, but it reminds me of the fucking Patriots when they had
Yeah,
the
they
perfect.
lose to Eli
You know
Manning.
what they didn't do? They did not win the Super Bowl that year. So you pull the perfect season. Yeah, you could be the best team in the league that year or whatever the fuck, man. But let's see if they win the fucking national senior championship at the end of the season because you can only go so far, man. I mean, eventually you're gonna lose the fucking game. I don't care who you are. I mean,
I mean, I kind of want to see him have to go against like the best like 18-year-olds in the world or something stupid for like a reality show or something. Like push the no show all the way. Like they do a scrimmage against the new Quebec Nordique expansion team or something. I don't know.
this is why I like characters from Letterkenny, like Jonesy and Raleigh, or the chick hockey players, the Marianne and Betty Ann, or whatever, like come
Oh,
in.
player a chick female team? That'd be good. That'd be good. One.
Yes. Yeah. If you have not seen Letterkenny, I recommend checking it. It's a little bit longer. It's 12 seasons of that, but I think they're all like the same kind of like, time frame. Anyway, this is where that came from. But those are characters that I think could carry over into Shoresy, and I think that would be cool, man. So we'll see what happens with that. But I would love to see some interaction there, some interweaving. Yeah. We'll see what happens in the next like bit before the season ends. But I wouldn't be shocked to see some interweaving, man.
Right, and I think it really works here because it sets up a couple of things. One of the notable things being that after they set the record for the undefeated season in the no show, there was a crazy party, which they keep coming back to every episode, usually
Okay.
with a tagline of like, I don't think they should ever get that drunk again.
Never
I
get
don't
that
think we
drunk.
should ever get that drunk again. I don't think I should ever get that drunk again. It just keeps coming back around. You get to just a couple shots from it. I hope we get more of that. I really do want to see it. And then the whole gag that all of these guys are so injured. I never seen a team that's injured before. And then they have that walking contest where they all try to see who walks like least injured.
Hmm.
Just phenomenal. That whole walking contest is great.
It is, man. It's like getting pulled over by the cops and having to walk the white line or whatever the fuck. But maybe not, maybe not as scary as that. But either way, walking a line is hard, dude, especially if you're injured. Anyway, man, I was gonna say, so I remember like the whole like with them constantly going back to the whole maybe they shouldn't get that drunk again and showing the little flashbacks and whatnot. Kind of reminds me of the calendar, from the previous season. They're like, oh, that
Oh
calendar is
yeah,
gonna
because
bite us in
this
the ass.
eventually gonna bite us in the ass, and then the finale they have all the
Maybe the party with getting too drunk might come back and bite him in the ass too. But the calendar.
yeah, I don't want to jump into three, but they end that way, right? Like when she asked Shoresy, like, what happened at that party? I do think we're going to see it. I do want to see it. I do love the
That'd be
fact
more
that they're
party.
all injured. The idea that Shoresy can't push when he's taking his shit is pretty hysterical. And then all of the other various injuries. And the fact that Shoresy got a concussion, so he keeps mixing shit up. They do this, like he mixes up premise and preface just like a couple of different times they have that happening. And Shoresy's not dumb. That's one of the things I love. Like he's not a genius, but he knows what he's talking about when it comes
Right.
to hockey. And generally, when he talks, he doesn't bullshit.
Oh,
He
if he's
knows what
saying
he's
something,
talking
he's
about.
saying something. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's just a way of showing that he really got his bell rung, and they keep coming back to it. Or he still always finds a way to contribute, but he still hasn't. So I think they're probably setting that up. And also, I did bang my knee up recently, my leg, and I really, when you fuck up your knee or your leg, it's a solid 4 to 6. I'm not gonna lie. So they're not really wrong here. It's 4 to 6 weeks. That's how long it takes. It really is. You can't. You can do whatever you want, but you can say all the fighting worlds in the world, but
Professional fucking hockey if you got a fucking knee injury, dude. I mean,
no, you can barely walk, dude. You can barely walk. And I think obviously all of the introductions we got on the little the TV presentation were awesome to the other teams. You get the Reds, you get the Barrelmen. Barrelmen, great name. They have the Freezer Twins, dude. The Freezer Twins is a great name for like a hockey bad boy duo.
yeah, dude, I love the competition, and just like I love the intensity of when they get to the game and they're on the ice and there's just face to face and the Shoresy chirps and it's just like it makes you feel like you're right in it, like you're right in there with them. Even going into it when they're going into the fucking shit. I mean, I don't know, man. It's one of those that for me it puts me in there like that. feel like I'm right in the fucking mix with them, like I'm on the team, you know. And I think that's what this show is going for, and it's doing it. You know,
Well, that's a funny, yeah, because that comes back around. Because doesn't Shoresy go out after he beats him, and he keeps thinking he was crab, but it was lobster or whatever, or vice versa or whatever. So yeah, whatever. Yeah, we'll have some beers after. It'll be a good time. Shoresy, that's him trying to do the right thing, kind of, which is 'cause he does generally try.
is he just fucking with him though? Because he knew it wasn't crab and was lobster. You know,
No, I
I mean,
don't think I honestly don't know the answer to that, but I know he did come then back when he's talking to the two chicks, and he says, "Oh, you know where I can store?" Because he's having food brought in, and the whole bit about that's one thing I love when that came up, and the chicks are looking at him, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that dude makes panty soup." I never good for you for the soup, but that's a better way of saying like panty dropper or wet panties or whatever, like panty
well,
soup.
and I
Solid.
think he has it in for this dude because what's her name interviewed him, you know, and he asked her, so he probably is like, "Fuck this guy,"
And
you
she
know.
shut him down too. I'm
She
sure she doesn't
did,
know
she
that.
did.
We know
It's
that.
respectable and shit. So props to that. But still, if I'm him, I would still be like, "Fuck this guy," you know. So he's
Yeah, I
probably
mean, seriously though, great writing because they set up all the teams. You set up the idea that one of the teams is owned by the chick who used to date Frankie. Then you get the setup for the Italian team. So
Jean-Jacques Francois, Jacques Jean.
I don't know if that was actually French, but very good stuff. And then we get obviously the little bit of Shoresy talking shit when he's refereeing. My favorite was my only regret is not serving my country. Yeah, I think about it every time I go to war on your mom's ass. And with the honorable mention being Corey, I've got your mom on speed dial, and I've got Liam's mom blocked. I'm not who should be more embarrassed.
All right, fuck you, Corey. Every time I nail your mom from behind, it sounds like someone running down the
Running in
road and you
flip flops.
Fuck you, Lee.
Good one. So I really enjoyed season one. You know that, or
Fish, man. Threw the fucking pH levels off of my aquarium.
this fucker.
Tip fucker.
Seriously though, a big thumbs up to episode one for me. Brought me right back in, super solid. I was a solid 4 to 6 on it. And then we go over to episode 2, Charlottetown Reds. We open with kind of the musical montage. That's the one thing I can say is the show does love itself a musical montage, especially coming in and going out of the
I love
episode.
the soundtrack needle drops on this, dude. Like they do a good job with placement and just like whether you know the song or not, it doesn't even matter because it just puts you there. Like I don't know, man. Some of them are just like as hard as like the end
Yeah,
of
it's
Devil's.
hard. That's what they say. The soundtrack, they go hard generally. Like there's the occasional touchy-feely joint, but for the most part, it's a lot of hard, like kind of like industrial rap almost.
Right.
Like stuff I haven't heard, even some stuff I'm assuming is Canadian. But they do cool things like the beginning of 2 when they do that time lapse shot with everyone in the locker room getting ready, and then Shoresy just sitting there like waiting. Everyone else leaves and he's just sitting in there even after like the attendants clean up the locker room. Like because he cares, right? And that's Shoresy.
Like the end of season one. The song at the end of season one, and then they all take the knee and shit. They lost the game, but they gave him the fucking lumber. But they take the knee, but that song behind it, and then the GM comes out, and obviously they decide to keep the team going and shit. But like that moment is like powerful, man. And then even the end of season two, the song at that where they just kick the shit out of the fucking Sioux, because the gyms set the tone and took out Palmer right away, but then the whole song going on the whole way, it just carried it the right way. It set the fucking tone. They know
Right, you can do the musical montage, but you have to freaking nail the song. You cannot, like, you have to nail it because you're going to edit to that. You're going to cut to that. Like, you have to have the song first. I feel even, and the song's got to be perfect.
It has to be a fucking. It didn't have to be "Living on a Prayer" by Bon Jovi.
Right? Yeah, no, yeah. If you're gonna do Jovi, yeah, go deep, go B side. Yeah. Great needle drops. Reminds me a little bit like the Bear in that they pick very good things, but it's not necessarily stuff that I know. Occasionally they'll drop one in there, but
I'd rather have that though. Like I'd rather not know. I'd be
right,
like,
I want to learn new things from a soundtrack. I don't want it to just play the hits. That's the worst thing. Like I know those like 200 songs or whatever. Like don't give me that. I don't need to see, under pressure or leaving on a jet plane or whatever it is a million times over and what have you. And I like the idea that they're keeping going that Shoresy may or may not be concussed, or he might just not know what a webinar is. I think either is probably reasonable.
I'm worried about the injuries. I think that's going to be a factor going into the
Never
later.
seen a team with this many injuries, eh?
Never, boys. I mean, holy.
Yeah, they really are, though. That's why I thought that walking sequence in the first episode was great. I love Jory Jordan coming back here. Just that sequence of him ripping everybody is awesome. When they just pull up the starting lineup of all the teams in it, and he just rips them. There are a couple of cuts, but that the actor, the kid playing the actor, whatever, the kid actor, the cactor, whatever you want to call him, he absolutely slays it.
I hated Jory Jordan at first, and obviously that's a character you want to hate
Just
anyway.
right, it's designed to hate him.
But now at this point, it's like you hate him, but now you almost kind of love him because he does such a good job at his fucking what he's doing, you know?
Because he takes it out on everybody. He's just off for himself. He doesn't. He plays no favorites. He actually is the rare neutral sports commentator. Usually, there's someone they like. He doesn't like anybody.
No, at the end of the last season when he got to see Hunt in there, man, he was giving them shit too. I mean,
yeah, he's like
how
the
much coke did you-
bastard kid. He's just the bastard. Like they have bastard chef was that's an Archer gag for Anthony Bourdain, but
all these guys who's interviewing and shit, they're like fucking hardcore hockey players. This little kid's fucking saying shit like that to them. And normally these dudes will probably just beat the shit out of you, but they can't. So they're like held back. Like, oh man,
right. Shoresy just saying nothing is great. Just
like,
when he's forcing this. I think that's in the next episode. But yeah. You just yeah. And Shoresy, any Shoresy interview, super great. We get a few of those throughout the first 3 episodes here, where he's being interviewed for various things or doing various seminars. We haven't seen the webinar yet, but I do absolutely love all that. The one thing I could complain about, but I never would, every female in this show is extremely attractive, and it's awesome.
There's an impossible.
I think it's just Canada. I'm just assuming. I've been to Canada before.
Well, dude,
I'm just saying that's how it is. Quebec especially, maybe.
yeah, you're no stranger to this game. When we were young, there was the 19 drinking age in Canada. It was 21 where it was like a 20-minute drive. To
Oh,
get to
you
40.
speak of the Canadian ballet.
And the Canadian ballet, I mean, it was where it was at, dude. So yes, they have incredible talent up there, and there is an impossible amount of good-looking girls in Sudbury, man.
There really are, but I honestly, that's fine. And maybe it's just because they have, dude, their jerseys are sharp. I want to buy a sweater, dude. I'm about to cop them. Bulldogs, that's a good look, man.
Next time we do a Shoresy show, I'm gonna be rocking a Shoresy jersey, dude.
Yeah. You gotta get a sweater, dude. You gotta find a way to contribute like Shoresy. That's the whole thing. And I did love that seminar bit with the nutrition and everything. That was pretty great.
Without a big fuck off C on it. You don't want a big fuck off C on there, man. How big is that fucking C anyway, Keller? Goddamn.
And then he cries when he gets to see. That's great.
Tuck it in
He
your
wants
cap.
to see, like, oh. Oh, you'd actually probably know this. Are Denver omelets and Western omelets actually the same?
Kind of, yes. It is pretty much the same thing.
Well, that
There's
makes the joke funnier if it's actually some truth
there's
to it,
really
kind
no
of.
actual difference. And some people might say, "Oh, we'll use Colby Jack instead of cheddar or whatever." But it's
Right,
a
that's like use Frank's instead of Texas Pete or
fucking-
something like that. That's
fucking thing, dude.
yeah. It sounds like you're nitpicking a little bit.
I
And I
love
guess one thing, just overall, you like the episodes where they have a hockey game because they're kind of paced a little bit different. You know what I mean? Because you're going to get the game scenes. I always like them, and I like that they're paced different because I think that's what helps the season move. Is that they don't have a game in every episode, but they don't treat the game episodes as like here's just the game. I think it's really well paced and written and edited like that.
Dude, I agree, man. It is a almost like an anomaly at how well played out that is, man. Because you don't really see that
Surprising to me too. Yeah.
fucking perfect
In a
balance.
great way. Because the hockey scenes are good. You're like, I want more of them, but they give you just the right amount, right? Like the Goldilocks thing. Just enough that I want more, but probably if they gave us more, they might not work as well. So I think it's just a great job on the production back end here. Back of the house is doing work.
Yeah, one of my favorite moments out of the entire log of the past couple seasons from the beginning or whatever of all of Shoresy right now is the episode where it's like if you can't win, don't play. and it ends up just being a pregame brawl. But that pregame
You
brawl
go
and
till you can't go no more.
yeah, and the way they use the music to just do it, and Shoresy just does it perfectly to where the other guy is antagonized enough to where it's his fault, and then they don't get in trouble, but they still beat the shit out of those guys, and everybody else is late. So like the whole scene where like the music's playing, they're beating the shit out of everybody in the fucking hall and in the walkway and everything else in their tunnel. And then here comes like, the other guys like Dolo and Hitch and shit, and they just come running in, like I mean, that whole it's just played out so well, and I don't know, man. It's one of those moments that just makes this show where you want to watch more of it. It's like, damn it, that's fucking good shit. I want
Right,
to see
even
more.
when they win, you're not mad that you knew narratively they probably had to win. Like they beat the Reds here, 4-1. Shoresy draws the big penalty on Gorgeous, and it's still that's fine. Like again,
I love the
they
beginning.
can't win every time, but they're gonna have to win a lot, or then that defeats the premise. So it's tricky to write, but they do. It's a tightrope, and they walk it well.
Yeah, exactly, man. I love that Shoresy had to build this team out of a bunch of dudes that weren't already on a team, because anybody on a team wouldn't just fuck off and go to Sudbury to play for a last place team in the fucking no-show.
Right, that's great. Even when they're setting it up for like, why do none of the other Providences send people? Because it's
Well, they didn't
the
actually
fuck
play
off.
hockey anymore, but I mean, they're studs.
It's the fuck off Quebec no show or whatever. Like I
Right.
forget the exact
And
terminology.
he ended
It's
up
one of those
building
great Canadian things. But
winning the fucking league. So he did what he fucking wanted to. I mean, it's just again, the show is just so fucking good, and it's
yeah, and
just so
again, more callbacks to that after show record setting party. To here, we get a couple of cuts to it again, the references. So if we were going to do a full flashback episode that seems out of character for Shoresy, I'd love to see that party. I'm just saying,
I
from
don't know
start to
that we'll
finish,
see something like that. I wouldn't see it fitting in
it would
everybody.
be weird. It would be like I'd want that as give me that as a Shoresy Christmas special. Like
Yeah,
even
maybe.
after it's
Yeah.
happened, like just randomly drop it on Christmas. Here's that party in
one-off.
real time. One cut. Think about that real time for an hour. Like one cut through that whole party for an hour. It's something crazy.
I would love that as a one-off, dude. But because there's only like 6 episodes in the season, I don't think I would want.
Yeah, it
I mean,
wouldn't make much sense. But
right.
so I like the way they're teasing it though, because it makes it seem
I think they'll sprinkle it I think they'll sprinkle it throughout. Now, real quick, I want your thought on the Polichettis, man. What do you think about these fucking guys?
the Italians.
Yeah, the fucking the girl that gave Sanguinette the squeezer, and then she did him the favor with the
Oh,
brothers, other weird guys with open mouths
nah,
and
you
shit.
can't trust them. You can't trust them.
Well, they're the Sopranos of fucking Sudbury, so
That's the name, The Sopranos of Sudbury. That's a good one.
so anyway, playing a role, and I think that's the kind of like for some reason it's been there, so it's going to be an important role, whether it's I don't think it's like going to be a end all be all kind of thing or anything, but I think they're gonna string along and kind of like be around, so
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's again what the show does is great job of kind of rotating in the periphery characters and that kind of thing. I think that kind of wraps up too. The third episode is Vaughan Canadesi. This is again the game against the Italians, so to speak. And you get the big opening bit when they're doing the commercial for the truck. I thought that was great. Was it the big block they sent me? I forget whatever the hell they had to say. Don't smile. Don't put your hand up this way. Just fantastic.
fucking hilarious. That whole opening scene was like, sometimes an opening scene runs a little bit too long, and I'm like, when is it going to be over? Let's get to the show. This one, not so much. I mean, this shit was funny as fuck. These guys, I don't know, man. It reminded me of the calendar shit kind of a little bit, but it was even better as far as like an opening scene. I mean, they just couldn't get it, or they could get it,
Yeah, it
or
reminded me of the calendar bit, but in a great way because they're good at this. So they went back to the well, but that's what you do when you find out what these guys are good at, and them kind of all smiling and just touching the truck in weird ways, and the background visuals and everything is awesome.
everything. I mean, are you gonna say cut? I mean, it was just so many
Right,
great
and
things.
we start when you say action, and we stop when you say cut. That's it. That's how it works.
Like, it's just well
Method
fucking
actors.
yeah, well done, man. Accountability, man.
And that was fun, and that could take up. Some people be like, man, that was like 4 minutes of a 20-minute episode. That's that's 20% of the episode. Awesome, 20%. That's what I would
But
say.
yeah, fine. Yeah, if you do that, cool.
Yeah, I would take. Yeah, you might feel like a sketch show, but I would take 4 bits of 5 minutes like that are awesome, or 5 bits of 4 minutes.
Yeah, I did get a little bit of this might be stretching a bit too long with the truck thing, and like that.
Yeah, yeah, it went out like it was subtle. Some of the cuts where their hands are different ways because they didn't want to leave fingerprints, and so like it went from the fist bump to like the one finger to
right. I thought they might
it
have
was
gone,
super the smiling to not smiling.
but it didn't get to an annoying. Like I was like, maybe they're going a little bit too far with this truck thing, but it didn't get annoying, and it stopped right before it did, kind of. So it was like,
Yeah, great at it. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. And this is kind of where they start bringing stuff back around a little bit. We get Jory Jordan again doing
Yeah.
another little bit. And one of the things I always like, as subtle as it is, this is the no-show. This is older, the senior league or what have you. So when they do the establishing shot of the guys kneeling down kind of or at the blue line before the hockey game starts, you get the back shot and you see that all the guys are going bald.
yeah, I noticed that
It's just
too,
a
man.
nice subtle reminder. Like it's
They
a
got the
very
landing
visual, even
strip.
Shoresy especially. He's got the one bald spot, the halo, I think. I forget what you call it, but it's definitely there. But of course, Shoresy wouldn't care.
Well, eventually it grows into what we used to call when we were younger. We used to call it the bug. Some people will call it the cul-de-sac. We used to call it the bug back in the day. Cul-de-sac, same thing. But I think now what these guys like Goldie and Shoresy and Shea have right now, from what you see from the back shots, there is more of like a landing strip almost. Like they don't have the full
Yeah,
on.
I almost thought they were doing it intentionally because a couple of them had a similar looking thing. But now I'm pretty sure that's just the idea that they are old. It's the no-show. They're all going bald. Like they don't give a shit though.
Oh yeah, and Hitch, yeah, the other one, yeah, those are the
Yeah,
ones.
because Shoresy wouldn't care. Like he wouldn't bother to get his hair cut that way. He wouldn't care enough.
Of course he wouldn't. He has fucking tooth removed to play the role of fucking.
No, I meant like, but short in the show. Like he doesn't care about haircuts or whatever. Some dude in the locker room, I'm assuming, just shave shorts his head when he's on the shitter. That's in my head canon. That's how it works. He doesn't have time to do it anywhere else. Like in between periods on the shitter. Just give me a haircut real quick.
Yeah, because you're taking a shit between periods anyway, so you may as well fucking get a shave real quick, trim it up, dude, get tightened up.
You like the Italian dude, Silvestri here, number 98? I love the whole bit where Shoresy just goes at him early and he's just chirping at him and chirping at him and chirping at him.
Wearing the number of a famous hockey player who is shit, what's the fucking dude's
One
name?
off, the gray one, Gretzky?
No, Gretzky was 99. That's why I said it's one off.
Right, he said he was wearing one off.
Well, I think it's a Bernard or a fucking whatever the fuck. Anyway, so he's ripping on him for that, like, being, rocking that number one off from the fucking, Gretzky or whatever, obviously. And then dude chirps back and it's like, well, you're wearing 69, douchebag. Like anybody wearing 69 is probably a fucking douchebag anyway, but it's a Shoresy. So Shoresy's fucking Shoresy and he's going to rock 69, dude. That's like telling Randall he can't fucking put Porch Monkey on his back fucking with duct tape. He's
going to bring it back, dude. He's going to bring it back.
And you got to be cool about bringing it back and it doesn't fucking matter because it's good.
And another cool bit here, because that's, the Italian dude was all about being sneaky and dirty, and he slashes our high stakes boy, I'm not sure what it is, but knocks his teeth out. And then you get the whole bit where you got to come back, you got to give him the shot. That is real life hockey. If you ever watch hockey games, if some dude loses his tooth and gets, comes back into the game, they always go for that money shot, 100%. They need to see the grin without the tooth. It always weirds me out. I feel terrible. At least I know that they have a dentist there. But like dudes like Alexander Ovechkin, they don't care. He's like, yeah, I'm not doing anything with my teeth until like when I'm done. I'll pay all the money and get new like implants or whatever. I'm not dealing with that.
Oh yeah, you can't do it mid-season, dude. I mean, nobody's gonna have oral surgery in the middle of fucking. It might be playoff time or something. Dude.
Right?
You gotta wait till fucking
these dudes, God bless hockey players who dive. And they put their face in front of it. If you've ever seen this, I guess minor spoiler is for Goon. That's a part of it at the end. There's a big shot, dude, taking it like, oh man,
it's some gnarly hockey injuries, dude. And I do remember
fuck
one
to the faces.
being from where I'm from, but I do also remember seeing this happen live, like when I was younger, early teenage years, like watching it at home, and I remember when a Buffalo Sabres player got slashed with a fucking skate,
Gate.
and,
Yep.
his throat got cut, and then fucking ridiculous amounts of fucking
That was
like
all Fontaine, right?
bleeding out on the fucking ice, man. Like it was bad.
Was
And
that Pat LaFontaine?
was it? It might have been. You remember
It was
this,
one
right?
of those guys on that team. I remember. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I remember seeing it when it happened when I was a kid and
Yeah,
shit.
because then he came back and he wore like a
But then he
protector
came
over it. Yeah.
Man, like it's ridiculous, dude. Like
Dude, hockey players are
cut, dude.
right up there. Some of the toughest athletes. The other thing I'll say is lacrosse athletes. I've seen people take lacrosse balls to that'll
Lacrosse is a tough fucking sport.
lacrosse balls right up there with a hockey puck. It is hard rubber. It's harder than a baseball. Like
Very fast moving, man.
yeah, like a pelota or whatever. But again, I just love everything about that. And then of course you get the gyms. They try to bring the gyms out and they fight everybody because whoever wins the fight's gonna win.
Stone.
And then dude just slashes Shoresy in the leg and he tries to play it off at the end of the interview. Oh, I'm fine. Never let him know you're hurt. And then he kind of limps around at the end and you get an idea that he's really hurt. So I'm sure that's going to play into the end of the season. And then the whole bit.
Yeah.
And then the bit with Frankie in the hallway is just
Yeah.
where his girlfriend has Shoresy read the subtweets. And that's just so great because Shoresy's like, this is what he's doing. He's this bullshit. Because I think Frankie's kind of his guy a little bit. He's like, really? Like, this is
Well, Frankie's important. He scores a lot of goals, dude.
they need dude, Frankie, we've proven that. Frankie is almost the linchpin of the team. They need Frankie. They need Frankie, they need the gyms.
Jacques Jean,
Yeah, Michael's a goal too. They need Michael's a goal.
Back to Quebec the one season, and then show up for the last game. So you can't really trust him that much, man. You don't show. You chase a girl all the way back to fucking somewhere else because and give up on your team.
Right. It's the idea now all of a sudden, he had all this magnetism after the calendar, remember, and all these chicks loved him, and now apparently he's on the outs with everybody's.
It was the
I'm
dudes
missing
from the calendar. It was
Oh, right, it was the dudes. Yeah, it was the dude. But the chicks loved him too, though, because I remember on the hockey show there, the bro joint, like everyone, the questionable call.
Oh, he
Like,
was
oh,
trying to
yeah.
Quebec.
Yeah.
In Quebec.
And they do defend their own. I mean,
they stick together up there. But then they all abandoned him or whatever, and there was that thing in season 2 where nobody loves Frankie anymore, but Jean-Jacques Francois, Jacques Jean.
I just love it. He's like
pretty
JJ Frankie JJ or whatever. That's just like that. I mean, once again, we get the reference to the big party after they set the no-show record, going undefeated at the very end. And Chick's like, hey, so what really happened that night, Shoresy? And he's thinking about it. So what do you think? We don't know this as we're recording this. You might as it comes out. But do you think in the beginning of season 4, we're going to see more from the no-show party? At the beginning of episode 4, we're going to see more from the no-show party.
Yeah, right now I'm fingers crossed that there is going to be a season 4 on this because I don't know if that's been confirmed or not.
There's going to be a season 4. Unless the creators don't want to, this does not cost this much.
I don't
It's
see why
been
not,
very well
right.
reviewed. It's been a pretty big hit. I think it's doing better than Letterkenny did, honestly. So
Yeah, I would love to see the show keep going, dude. I mean, I absolutely love it. Like it's one of those I can put on, even though I've seen them. I don't even care. Like this is one that it's
yeah, I'm not
wonderful.
usually a fan of 6 episodes only, 20-minute episodes. That's not much, but here it's perfect. I think it's extremely entertaining. You could burn through them in a day. Even if they got 4 seasons, you could still burn through it in a day.
Yeah. I love the pace of the show too, man, because it's just enough to where it's not too much, but not like too little either. It's right.
Right,
It's
and
a
there's some
perfect
lore, there's some stuff if you want to really dig in, there's some stuff there. If not, you could just surface level it and have a good time too.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, no matter what, it's a fun fucking show to watch, man. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this show. It's a good time, man. The gyms. I just got to know, man.
All the gyms.
I mean, you gotta love a gym. You can't give a game stick to 3 guys because you only get 1 stick. But I mean, the gyms, dude.
I'm pretty sure they tried to give out the multiple sticks, but
Well, they
yeah.
said they'd get it in a bowl, and even gym number 3 said he's lactose intolerant. But man, I'll power through, you know. And I love the commitment, the gyms, dude. The fucking
Yeah, I still love them doing the
Aren't the
prison
gyms
trivia
just
and
such
stuff like
fucking
that.
beauties,
Big fan of the
dude?
gyms, dude. Big fan of the gyms. Overall, just fan of the gyms. And the idea that they picked that bit and stuck to it from a writing standpoint, that it's these three guys. It's what was that from Bob Newhart or whatever? I'm Daryl, it's my other brother Daryl, my other brother Daryl, my brother Daryl, my other brother Daryl, whatever it was. It's that joke. It's not a new joke, but it's still funny when you stick to it.
Oh
As long
yeah,
as you have
even from like
commitment to the bit, the
even
guys
like
can
Run
sell it.
Ronnie Run, man, where it's like little Ronnie, little middle Ronnie.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So it's not like
but
a new joke, but that's fine. There's only so many jokes. I think they have interesting takes on them.
dude,
and-
I think they play it so good because they can just be like Jim, yeah, Jim, yeah.
well, now they almost have individual personalities. They've done it,
Yeah,
and now
they
even with the
do,
little
yeah.
looks, the eye looks, and the little blinky, and it just
Well, and they
really
lean
well
into
done. I
that a
think.
little bit too, as far as like, you know, just a little nod or whatever the fuck, you know. And, dude, I love that. Little things like that about the show are just so fucking good, man. And then the whole thing where they struggle with the trivia because like it meant so much to them, like you know, because at first like, oh, the gyms are in jail, you got to, and like, oh, it's you know,
Yeah,
our
right.
tough
'Cause
name-
it's like Michael's who bailed
tough
him
names
out,
are
guy, right?
redundant,
Like
you know.
he's the one who then once he gets one right, then they kind of like breaks the seal for them, and they start getting them right, and then they.
But yeah,
They-
come to
you
find
know,
out they're
they-
prison guards, you know, because at first it's like, oh, we have to go to jail. They're in jail, and like, and that was a big scene. It's like, no, they're not in jail. They work there, you know. Like, when they were first introducing to them, but yeah, then they're the prison guards. But yeah, I mean, how do you get a tough name or a tough anybody? A prison guard's a tough motherfucker, probably. At least you would hope so, anyway. So these motherfuckers are tough, dude. And tough
Yeah, and I
names
would
is-
say prison
like-
guards named Jim right up there, like top 5 name for a prison guard.
dude, the gyms are the shit. Who doesn't want the gyms on a team, dude? That's better than a Corey and Trevor any day. I think the gyms over Corey and Trevor any day, dude.
Your mom was so wet last night that I ran out of kitty litter. My cat had a shit in her mouth. I just yeah, that top man. I don't know if that was good, but there's
You know
a
what's
very
you know what's even more fucked up than that is how many times I had to fake a jellyfish sting to get your mom to pee on me. Fuck you, Corey.
the fucked up part is it was 0 times. I just said jelly and she started peeing.
Right.
All right, I think that it basically about does it. I think we're gonna definitely check back in at the end of season 3 with our thoughts. Hopefully, there will be season 4 on the table at that point. Soup, anything else about Shoresy before we get out of here, bro?
Yeah, no, not really. Just can't say enough good shit about this show, man. It's awesome. If you haven't checked it out, check it. If you have, check it again because it's even better on a rewatch, man. I mean, this is a show that it doesn't really stale, dude. You know, I mean, the more you watch it, the more
You
you
can
kinda-
watch 2
like from-
seasons of Shoresy at the same time and watch you can watch 4 episodes of 24.
Yeah, and it's fun, dude. Like, I mean, I don't know, man.
That's
this
Fun.
one of-
It is fun. And don't even worry, like Jacob Tierney directed the all the episodes of the first 2 seasons. They've been switching it up in season 3. You got Sean Skeen, Dan Skeen, the Skeen brothers, I guess, getting it done, but working out so good. I have not seen any difference in quality from the first 2 seasons into season 3. So if you haven't checked in, you should. If you are, keep doing so. Thank you very much. And hopefully you keep checking in on Regular Dudes Watch Stuff. You can find us wherever you get pods and on YouTube, on social media at Dudes Watch Stuff. Same place on the internet, dudeswatchstuff.com. Try to keep it easy to remember, just like the Vlaps. Follow, like, and please subscribe. I wish we had a cool acronym for We Will Never Lose Again, but we don't. So all we can ask is if you had fun, please hit the thumb. I'm Magnum Mills. He's a Soupdeucer, and we're just dudes being dudes, talking about the dude. Number 69, Shores.
Yeah, dude. And you know what, man? I'm not here to tell you not to hammer ass, but maybe just not tonight. You know, not the night before a game. So, like, maybe just don't hammer so much ass. Jim?
What happened there?
Rhythm is the sound, everybody get down when we